God, what a crew.
There you go, Mark Parsons. You can cue Nashville, or no, T-Line, Nashville, Mark Bulger's sports bar where you can go curling that is, and bowling. And I think it's awesome when they listen to music or sing some music. Are you doing some curls there, Brian Joswiak?
Curls for the girls, bench for the trench.
Woo!
Yeah, I lived in Minnesota, man, and curling actually is really fun.
Really fun, huh? Mikey C.
It is.
Yeah, shoulder pads.
It's a much more difficult than it looks, too.
You know that thing with a stick and a broom?
Yeah. On the ice.
Hey, Jones, watch out, man. Here comes here comes a graphic with Parmar Stores, because you know our good friends at Parmar Stores. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be one soon. Look at that big head with Parmar right there, Jones. I can't move that. So there you go. You got to deal with it. Okay. we have Harvey Smith, 1984 to 1987 wide receiver, coming in, gonna drop some knowledge to Mountaineer Nation. Harvey, how we doing?
We're doing great. Great. Saturday morning, ready for some exciting football here this afternoon.
A lot of knowledge, Harvey. I know you just retired from coach a couple of years ago up there in the Berg, Pittsburgh, so a lot going on. Let's talk about it. We got Kevin Koch in here. Koch, go ahead and raise up because nobody recognizes you from 1988 because you lost 100 pounds. All right, so go ahead. We got Kevin Koch in. Team center, captain, 1988. Team that competed for the national championship. And then Bees, how we doing today? Aaron Beasley. Hey, Aaron Beasley, fellas, he is up for the College Hall of Fame, man. NCAA this year. We have to vote for him. Get Bees in there. It's his time. It's his place. If you don't get him in there, he's probably going to try to intercept it and steal it. All right, so we're going to go ahead. There you go. And then, of course, we got Mark Parsons here with T-Line.
Hi, my name's James Gemitter.
Nashville. Go ahead, Mark. Give me who you're with there, your Music City
We had that
Alumni
golden blue
Club.
pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of
Nashville
Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve
Who's
you.
ready
If there's not a
for some
Parmar store near you now, there will be
WVU Sooner Boomer?
Where do the true gold and blue faithful go for
Oh,
the best
man,
in
who's
beer,
ready?
burgers,
I know,
pizza,
B
wings,
says
and
he's
more?
ready to get
It's the
real
Mountaineer
today.
Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House
He's
features well
got
over 40
no
craft
jokes
beers on
going on
tap,
today.
plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza,
Somebody
and
woke up
tacos the
grumpy.
University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.
All right, and welcome to Mountaineer Legends Pregame with myself, the Wolfman, and of course, Big Bad Brian Joswiak, and these legends that you see in front on your screen. And we're so happy to have them. Regardless of the situation, we are Mountaineers, and we are Mountaineers through and through. And I think today what you're going to see from Mountaineer Legends of these guys is they're wanting to go ahead and express the frustration that they're feeling and that they're doing watching the team and where it's at now. So, well, without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right into it because I think it's so important. And Bees, I want to get you because you came on here today and you said, yo, man, it's time to get real. So I'm going to open it up right now and say, what's real?
Well, what's real to me is a lack of leadership. What's real to me is a lack of scheme. What's real to me is a lack of technique, a lack of fight, and it all comes from the top and it goes down. Because I'm sick of the fact that every week we keep saying the same exact things. We keep saying we need to run the ball. We keep saying we got to protect the ball. We keep saying we got to play better on defense, and nothing's happening different. It's like a team that scores 15 points a game scores 31 points on us. What is that? Are we going to do anything different? Or are we just going to stick with the same things that we've been losing with for like the last 6 weeks? Like, to me, there has to be some kind of change. I don't know if it's the head coach. I don't know if it's the coordinators, but there has to be something. I mean, if we're going to just hire our friends to coach and not teach how to develop talent, then what are we in this for? Because when I look at it, I was there before camp. I was there during camp. I saw the talent. I played in the NFL. I know ball. And for coaches not to even come and ask for any suggestions or even pick my brain, I've been holding off a long time from saying this stuff. Like, I played 9 years in NFL, ran a 4.6, but you couldn't throw my way because I knew the game. And if you don't even come pick my brain or ask me anything, what are you in this for? Why am I even here? Why do we have legends? Why don't you even come to us to actually talk to us about how we could help the program? I mean, we're sitting back and we got all these chat lines and we're complaining. We all are saying the same exact things. And it's like nothing's happening. Why don't they listen to us? We played the game. We got College Football Hall of Fame nominees. We got College Football Hall of Famers on this Legends podcast. They don't listen to us. And I'm tired of it.
All right. I'm glad that you came out with that statement because as I can tell, it's been on your heart for a long time, man. And we actually talked about it a little bit. And I felt you go in that direction. So there you go. Joe's, welcome to the show once again. And,
I'm sorry,
and
I
of
love
course,
my Mountaineers, bro. I love what we.
I know you love your Mountaineers.
Hard
That's
it is.
why you're doing what you're doing. And that's why you're saying what you're saying. Joe's, go ahead.
First of all, obviously it's I'm really happy that Bees kind of threw that out there. We're all a little on the frustrated side simply because, we're a Power 5 football team playing in the Big 12 and we just can't seem to put it all together. The offense clicks, the defense doesn't. Last week, defense played 3 decent quarters, whatever, and the offense sputters. And we're not playing Big 12 football. We're not playing Mountaineer football. But more importantly, we're not playing, I keep hearing about, playing at a high level. This guy's playing at a high level. You know what? At this level, everybody's supposed to be playing at a high level. So, where's the accountability? Like B said, within the team, the leaders within the team, but leadership starts at the top and it's like a chain link fence. And the moment you find the weak link, man, we got a problem. And teams are finding our weak links week in and week out. Week in and week out, we keep exposing ourselves and the other teams are exploiting it. And we're not doing anything to fix it, it seems like. And, I feel for the players. I think some of those guys are really out there battling. They're battling, and I think they want to win. But, you got to find a way to win. And finding a way to win comes in practice. It comes in practice and improving your skill level and improving your technique and improving your communication and making adjustments. You do that during the week, man. And then during the game, you need to be able to make those adjustments. And we're just, like I said, I think we've exposed ourselves too often. And we just, at certain positions, we're just not playing at a level necessary to compete at this level. And injuries and portal and all those issues are part of it. And then you throw a young guy in there and his eyeballs get this big and he's got to go in there and deal with it. But that's why we practice. That's why we practice. And man, practice is supposed to transition into the game. And it's not happening. Not enough because you can look at our record.
No, you're right, Joseph. And let's move on to you, Mikey C. Mike Collins, team captain. Mikey, what are you seeing here? I mean, you've been talking about this for weeks now. Go ahead. Give me your take.
It's like Aaron says, it's, the definition of insanity and trying to you do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. What I'm seeing with the coaches, I mean, just not getting it done. And there's one thing if it's one game, but we're 4 years. Here's what struck me this week. The coach didn't say they were going to provide some entertaining football. Now, that tells you the mindset. We're going to put an entertaining product on the field. We're going to go out there and entertaining product on the field. That just gives you a little bit of his mind where he's at. He's not thinking about winning games. He's thinking about trying to bring people to the stand. Things are not going well. And as Joe said, I mean, last week we're consistently inconsistent. We go 1 week, we play decent, but we play bad offensively. The next week we play good offensively. We play bad. Following week we play bad offensively, and we play bad defensively. It's just Aaron has said, and as Brian has said, that starts at the top. Consistently making inconsistent, consistently being inconsistent. That says, I mean, and we're trying to sugarcoat it. We're trying to, but although now we're not. We've been sugarcoating it over the last 9 weeks, but now we're not, and it's just painfully. And as
over the last 3 years,
everyone said, man, and we're this is our there's a certain expectation we have. We should not be last in the Big 12. It's just so disappointing, and I ride or die, like Brian said earlier. 0-40, it'll suck, but I'll still be there. But man, be where we are, and I said this, I said this 3 weeks ago. Should go. I mean, I'm sorry, he needs to go. He's the person to hire this guy. I do not trust his judgment. So he needs to go, and then we need to start over.
Okay. All right. So, Coke, you've heard it from the other guys, and we're going to get to you, Harvey, here in a second. But, when you sit there and think about you're the team captain 1988, you played for a national championship. Are you just going back to the glory days, or where is this WVU football program that is now at the bottom of the Big 12 and that Kansas is going bowling?
Similar to Aaron, when I ran a 4.6 40.
I don't remember those days.
That's a lie.
That was it.
Wow.
It's 3 weeks ago. Key word I used was chaos. Right? There's got to be chaos in the coach's room. Excuse me, in the player breakout rooms. More chaos, and I don't mean like the chaos where we go out and it's everybody banging heads and we're not winning and we're winning the gut and all that. I'm talking about chaos like coaches are probably looking at each other going, what? And then when you make a bunch of mistakes, it's okay. Don't worry about it. They show up for practice every day, and you kind of put in your head you want to practice a goal, but hell, we just need to practice for improvement right now, and that ain't happening, which is just chaos, right? The chaos and the structure. What really has to change? I mean, we could probably debate that all day. Leadership structure, leadership organization. When you get that job, whatever that leadership job is, right? And it could be in your family, or it could be on a field or with a team. Your job is to and then be bold and change it, right? Boom, this player can't start anymore, can't call plays anymore. Boom, this coach can't be on my staff anymore. But if you want to be a leader and you want to win and you want to create that environment around you, you've got to identify the problem, which is a lot easier. And then actually doing something different. Demonstrated the ability to do something different, to make a bold change, to hold somebody and go to the next step. If we made bold continue to lose, well, there's another problem there, but at least we're doing something different. Mikey said it back. We're not changing anything. We're going the same thing over and over and over. Do something different. As a player, from back the 1 year, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal, and we couldn't overcome. But we held together and we stuck together. And that's going to be a key for our boys, right? They're at the core. The offense, when they come together, they got to say, hey, they got to say we're together. In special teams, we're together. And then when they all come together, look within and try to do everything you possibly can every single day. Because those guys right now on the field, and all of you have said it, but, once a Mountaineer, always, I will do anything I can to help support those boys.
No, I know that about you, Coach. That's what I got here from all this. And Harvey, I'm sorry for the first time you're coming on the show, man. And we're bringing all the dead bangers on. You know what I mean? But this has been going on for week after week and week, and you've been watching at home. So I wonder, give me your thoughts, brother, and tell me, how you're feeling about this. You're a coach. You're a former coach, now retired, so you're always a coach in your head. What are you seeing?
Yeah, just a real quick comment. When I think about where we are as a program, I think back to a comment that Justin Fields made a couple of weeks ago when he himself was struggling as a player. The team was struggling as a team. And somebody was interviewing him after a loss, and he said, I'm tired of being close. I'm tired of coming up short. So to me, that told me that young man right there understood that there's a bunch of excuses being made. Because let's face it, when you're in the game of sports and you're losing, there's a whole lot of excuses coming from every direction. But at some point, the leadership, being the coach, and the leadership being a top player's got to say enough is enough. If I'm the player, I got to make the play that's going to decide that game when it comes a critical point in the game. If I'm a coach, just like Kevin was saying, when you're in a critical juncture of the game, i.e. the backyard brawl, and you got a 4th and 1, do your players believe in you, and do you believe in your players? Because if I'm the player at that point, when it's 4th and 1, coach, give me the ball. Let me make the play that's going to change this around so that now we can get some confidence. So now that confidence can carry from the backyard brawl to the next week and to the next week and to the next week, whatever the play call is. Because let's face it, I'm a coach, I'm a coordinator. I call plays. There is no such thing as a bad play call. It's called, do your players believe you can get it done? It's called, do your coach believe in the players? See, because the players can feed off of that. We know when our coaches got confidence in us. And when they got confidence in us and they got confidence in the system, guess what? Any play that I call works. I've won championships with lesser talent because my players would run through the wall for me because they believed in what I was telling them. They believed in my leadership. And so and this is not to pile on, Coach Brown's a great guy. But like Aaron said, we're in the business of hiring our friends. It's a bottom line business. We all have vested interest in WVU. And we should not be sitting here in this year when Brian Jones and Kevin Koken and I played back in the day and we were going to bowls every year. It should be progressing, not regressing. So let's be on about the business of changing this thing around. We love our Mounties. And like you guys, if they're 0-50, I'm going to be back behind my boys, supporting my boys. But I'm going to also be in her. We need a change because guess what? My last point. There are coaches that are going in TCU, bad season, and within 1 year, turning their program around or up in the top 4. Why can't West Virginia be one of those?
Right.
Yeah. What I'm going to say to that for my response is because it's the same guy. That's been him for the last 4 years. And honestly, you can go ahead and take a look. I think the thing that's really hurting him is the success of Kansas. Lance Leopold, who's obviously a fantastic coach, who was the 6-time national championship at Whitewater, Wisconsin, Division III. Then he went up to the University of Buffalo, took a program that was a train wreck, and that style Buffalo, G5 there, and actually won AA through the years, made them into a MAC championship team. And then, of course, he was gone out to Kansas within 2 years, a program that is just terrible, that everybody would laugh at in the Big 12 for football, not basketball, we know that, but for football. And now they're going bowling, and we're sitting here trying to win our 4th game with the 10th game being played. And that really is, those are the optics. Those are the visuals, and everything that you guys have just said is what's taking place here now. How can you, and I'm going to go to you, Joes, for this, how can you, as the coach, Neil Brown, how can you recover and change this today and change it going into the future?
Wait a minute, change. Wait a minute. We've been trying this for 4 years. First of all, if it's me, I just heard on ESPN that he don't win today, he's out. So whatever rumor that is, ESPN just said it. All right, quote. All right, so we'll see. I like what Coach said about being bold. If I'm going down, guns flaring, and I'm going to make some changes. I just like to add one thing, and this is just my opinion. Part of being a great leader is your support cast, who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with average, then guess what? As great a football coach as you want to be, you'll always be average. When you go out there and you surround yourself with people that got the bloodlines and have the knowledge base and have the understanding on how to compete like that, you can't just go out there and hire your buddies. And I get it. It's a good old boy type thing, but it's who you surround yourself with. And I use Coach Nealon. Coach Nealon wouldn't hurt a flea. Although he would fight in a racquetball court, he'd kick your tail. All right. But again, he wouldn't cuss. He wouldn't yell at you in front of anybody. He'd take you behind closed doors and chew your tail a little bit. But what he did do is he found warriors at those key teaching positions. Teaching positions, the warriors that know that game and know what's necessary to play at that level and to develop that talent. And we're just spinning our wheels here. It's time. And I'm sorry, I've been a supporter. I've backed him like we all would, because we all bleed blue and gold. But we're not getting any better.
Well,
we're just
you're
not
right.
getting any better.
No, you're right, Joe. And I'm going to tell you, I think it was between you and me who went into Coach Nealon's office more for discipline. I didn't get it. I'm not sure who won that one. Yeah. Oh, no,
don't start no rumors.
No, okay. Well, listen, Bees, I want to get back to you, man. And where do you go from here? If you're Neil Brown, if you're trying to save not only your job, but save this program in the season for the players, where do you go from here to try to change today? Oklahoma, they have a defense. We're going to get into this, but they have a defense that's not strong. They have a chance if their offense could come out there and play hard. What do you do? How do you change it in a week? What do you do? Do you just say burn the house down? Well, what do you do?
You don't change it in a week, but you got to ignite something. You got to. To me, you got to change the D coordinator. I'm just being honest. Like when we got guys playing outside leverage and cover 3, and you got a 2x2, just certain things that I see and that I have seen being there, you got to make some kind of change. We got our best defensive coordinator is a defensive assistant and can't even coach the players. Think about that, Jeff Castile. And he has no input and he can't say anything. We have our best D coordinator behind the scenes, who actually created, or really worked this 3-3-5. And he has that kind of fire. He has that kind of energy. He has that resume. What do we have to lose right now bringing him up and letting him coach our defense for the next 2 weeks? Because you got to try something. You can't keep running the same defense. You can't keep putting our guys out there exposing them. You got to play our best players at the same time. You can't be playing politics out here, worrying about who's going to stay and who's going to leave. I got to get reps to certain guys because he might transfer. Well, the problem is if you have good coaches, they won't transfer because you're developing talents. So we gotta look back and relook. I don't know if there's going to be a firing because the buyout is so big. But if it is Coach Brown, he has to look and find somebody that can bring dog out on our defense, that knows scheme, that knows technique. And like we said, like Harvey said, you got to go balls to the wall, and everything has to be. We're doing everything to win. We might have to make it a big adjustment or a small one, but make some adjustment.
Well, Bees, I hear you, brother. And Coke, I'll go on to you right now. As what can you do? You are a leader of men in your position, in your job. This is what you do. You are a leader. How do you change this team? And not that you're going to change the whole culture in a week, but how do you go ahead and get them ready to play Oklahoma when you just went ahead and lost to Iowa State? And they're all saying, hey, man, you played well for 3 quarters. Well, I don't know what the standards are anymore. I don't know what the standards are. But you say you played well against a team that's been scoring 15 points for 3 quarters and you give up 31. What are the standards? When you give up 48, what are the standards? That's not acceptable. And you don't have a depth chart that you can go to and say, well, you starter are not playing because this guy's a freshman or whatever. He's not ready. I think now's the time. Start pulling some freshmen out and see who wants to play.
Yeah, agree. And I put it in number one, and this would have been, well, it should have been a long time. As a coach, the leader, the owner, my attitude change. I wouldn't press, right? So it starts with the leader. The message would be different. The message is people, we're a family, but in a family, people get held accountable, right? So there's got to be a persona, right? Everybody loves Neil Brown for a lot of great reasons. But guess what? What he's saying and what he's doing, because that resonates. That's the ripple effect, right? Throw a rock into a pond and see the waves. Well, it starts with him because he doesn't have that. He doesn't show that grit. He doesn't let that come out in the press, number one. Number two, I would make a coaching change. B says the D coordinator. Joe's might say the O coordinator. Harvey might say who it is. Make a coaching change, right? You got to do something. You've got to be, and that's guess what, Bees? You didn't do your job. You're out, right? And you got to do that. You got to hold that accountability. You got to make it public, not public to embarrass, but public to say, hey, I own it, right? You got to make a quarterback change. I mean, people not like to hear that whether he's hurt or something's going on. Make a quarterback change to ignite. Dale, you just said it. Right? Something different. You got to make quarterback change. And number 4, those 3 other don't. The leader steps away. He's got to say, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm not getting it to my team, to my players, and to my university. It's probably time for me to step away. And all that, just own it. And that's super hard to do, right? But the turmoil that's going on for his family. I mean, literally his family at home, his kids. Chaos creates in the locker room. All the lack of trust, all the lack of confidence. Number 1, you got to change your attitude as the head coach. Number 2, you got to change your coach. Number 3, and that's nothing against JT. I love JT, but it's just not coming together right now. Maybe it's time to step away.
All right. So, Harvey, when you hearing Coach's words and trying to change the team and get them fired up for this week, you're a coach, man. What are you telling your guys to go ahead and say, listen, you got a chance against OU. You got a chance. So what is it that you're telling them to make them get fired up, to make them want to go out there, to make them want to execute, to make them fight?
Status quo is not acceptable. Status quo is not acceptable. So just like these other guys are saying, accountability comes to the forefront of this particular time. How does that happen? One of the things that I think coaches are doing because of the transfer portal and some of these things that exist now is they're placating to the kids. Well, if I play this kid's going to transfer. If this kid, this situation, you got to be a leader. I have a business. That's what I do for a living. I get paid to make leadership decisions, hard decisions. Some people I got to fire that I like, but they're just not getting the job done. So you got to have a leader that's willing to make them decisions, regardless if somebody's going to transfer. They weren't meant to be part of your program. If they transfer, let them go. But your job, your obligation with the staff is put your best 11 on offense, your best 11 on defense, your best 11 on special teams, and let the chips fall where those, because see, that's what we've gotten away from. And if somebody gets, relegated to second team, and if they don't want to compete to get their job back, let them transfer. See, the one thing when I got into losing streaks and on my teams, I elevated the competition in practice. I came in on Monday morning and I said, guess what? Since we're losing, everybody lost their job. We're starting fresh on Monday. And the best performers today are going to play on Saturday. And if you don't like it, then transfer. I'll sign tomorrow. Because I want competitors. See, we got away from competing. And if you don't compete on Monday, you can't compete on Saturday. That's why you lose as much as we lose close games. We got to get back to competing. We got to get back to making the kids think differently. See, West Virginia got a culture of players. Joe's, who better to be on? I'm looking face to face with the very definition of West Virginia culture when I look at Joe's. I remember coming to West Virginia as a young player, just to beat up, grind it out. I'm going to give you everything I got, every single play. That's who we are as Mountaineers. We was always the underdogs, but guess what? Man, you say Oklahoma, think about one of the biggest wins in West Virginia history. And we were enormous underdogs. Think about when we played the Miami Hurricanes when they were the team. Enormous underdogs. 20-something first-round draft picks, and we took them to the brink, didn't we? We had them on their heels, didn't we? Never one of our teammates, never once did I see my teammates quitting or worried about who was next. I had a conversation with Gary Mullins, and the only way I ever got an opportunity because I was a walk-on was because Blue saw me competing every day in practice. So he wanted to see me on the field. I mean, I'm rambling right now because it is a source of frustration, but the answer to your question is open up the positions, make them compete, and make them earn every play that they play. And if they want to transfer, tell them so be it. You ain't a Mountaineer anyway. You're a quitter.
All right. With that being said, we're going to move right on to you, Mikey C. Hang on, Joe. Let me get Mikey in here, give his comment. Hang on to that thought. I know at this age you have to get it out as fast as you can. Hang on to that thought. Go ahead, Mikey.
Well, I want to touch on is what Harvey said earlier about confidence. And that's what the guy, he says earlier this week, we're gonna play that's not a confidence statement. And it speaks a little bit to his leadership, the things, and I hate to just kind of regurgitate this, but it's just, great guy. He's just not a coach for West Virginia football. And like Harvey said, when and that 93 team, and I was there with that 89 red shirt, top 10, 89, 93, obviously we were top, but in between, we had to fight, who we were as a little bit as a program. The difference, though, is Don Nehlen had some equity. This guy hasn't proven that he can win. This guy hasn't proven that he can bring the best out of his players. And so we're going to play an entertaining style football as opposed to this is what we're going to do to compete with Oklahoma this week. We're going to play a physical style football. We're going to do this defensively. We're going to take them taking the game to us, which, fellas, we know what's going to happen today. going to help us is the weather. It's going to be kind of a crappy day, but we're going to dictate the game. We're not going to dictate the game. We're going to be at home, and they're going to dictate the game. What Harvey said, it's confidence and leadership, and confidence is leadership. Well, chaos and making changes. Let's be honest. He ain't. Why would he? He has a $20 million golden parachute. Why would you step away from that? That would be insanity. That literally would be insanity. So that's not going to happen. An opportunity today to keep us bowl eligible. He's going to lose the game, and then he's going to get fired. And then we're going to have to make that next step. What can we do today to win the game? We have to dictate the tempo offensively and defensively today. We've got to come out aggressive, assertive, up to do that, though. That's the problem, and that's the leadership.
I got you. All right, B. So I want to go back to.
Wait a minute.
Well, man, I forgot about you. I'm the one who forgot.
Holy Jesus Christ! I wrote this down.
This is PG, bro. This is PG.
I didn't cuss. I never said a curse word.
You were there, man. You were there. Okay, go ahead, Joes.
No,
go ahead, brother.
I'm gonna piggyback what all these guys have said, and Harv especially. First of all, I want to thank you for that freaking love, that compliment. Know this. I like we all did, man. I bled for WVU only because I was brought there to bleed for them. They knew that they were going to get that out of me. And when I got there, guys like Daryl Talley and Todd Campbell and Jeff Seals and Oliver Luck and that old regime that was there bought into what Coach Nealon and his group had us doing, and it just carried over. And so for me, my obligation was to pass that on to the next generation. Amen. And damn it, the next generation is responsible for that. And that's where we've lost it, because this generation today just really doesn't get that component. And Harv, I appreciate you, man, because you know me. I'm gonna go through a wall because of the guy behind running the ball and the guy throwing the ball and the defense. I want those guys fresh. I don't want them on the field. They can go out there, play 3 and out and get off. So we're all going to be responsible. That's the biggest part of it is if there's one guy, I don't give a shit I don't care what the score is. If there's one guy in our group anywhere that doesn't believe into the calluses of his feet that we got a chance to win the ball game, we got a chance to win the ball game on every single play. Harv said it. I called play. It should score. Vince Lombardi drew it up, and it scored every single time. If everybody does their job, all right, we're all responsible. We all have this job to do, and we're all dependent on each other to get that job done. And if one guy doesn't believe that, you get down 2 scores and 4 guys go, you're done. I don't care, man. We need everybody. We need everybody in this whole machine going forward and believing that we're going to win. And when you don't see that in a coach's eyes and the guy's standing there talking on his headset and he don't know that I'm standing right there listening to him and he's saying, oh, these guys, because we're going to feed on what that coach is saying. We need everybody. And if we're going to even have a chance to win this game today, I don't care about all this ancillary stuff. We haven't talked about the elephant in the room, and that's NIL money. All right, I'm paying a guy now to play, and my nuts get too small to take him out because I got money invested in him, and the big guy that gave me the money, blah, blah, blah. So we haven't even talked about that junk. And you know what? I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it's the group of guys that's sitting in that locker room right now, and they're probably on the field right now. It's 20 after. They're out there warming up. The only thing that matters, and the only thing that ever mattered to me as a football player, I didn't give a crap because I didn't control none of that. The only thing that I had to control was that defensive end or that 4-eye or that freaking down block on that 3-tech. That's the only thing that mattered to me as a player, okay? I can't control none of that other stuff, but I can control what I give to the game and what I give to these guys that I'm playing for. And that's what we got to see today. Do we have a chance? Hell yeah, we have a chance every week. We had a chance last week, and we blew it because we couldn't overcome one bad play. All right, and you know, it don't take 3 quarters. Yeah, we played 3 great quarters. I don't know. You got to play 4 quarters until that freaking clock goes out, and you got to believe in your gut that there's a chance. And somebody, like Harv said, somebody, and we're all capable. But if I wait around for Bees to make the play or Mike to make the play, guess what? We might have waited too long and nobody ends up making the damn play. So I'm going to step up and I'm going to make the freaking block that springs Wolf into the freaking, not you, Dale, Ronnie. That springs Ronnie into the freaking end zone, man. Hey, you know what? In big times, when it's 4th and 1, you want the ball? I got news for you. Run it over my big ass right here, and we're going to get a first down or a touchdown or whatever the hell we need. Where's that at? I see Zach doing it once in a while. Got to be everybody, man. All of us, the guy on the sideline, the guy running look team during the week, we all have to believe in our freaking soul. We got a chance. And if there's a kink in that anywhere, that weak link, we're done.
All right. I personally take offense to what you just said. Okay.
I'd block for you, though, Dale. I'd block for you. Yeah, but you're too damn slow. I ran a 4.87.
Yeah, you know, well, Kogan ran a 4.6, so he beat you. Okay.
He's 120 pounds.
Yeah, well, no, you know what? He is a triathlete. I mean, so, all right, let's get to you, Beast, because I don't know where you're going, man. I don't know where you're headed. Can you hear me?
Oh, I got you. I'm here.
Okay. Now, listen. Let's get back to something that, I mean, I had this whole planned out. I had the, you know, what the coaches have said. I had the video, but you just opened it up. You just opened up the can of worms. You know, you know, Pandora's box is out, man. It's done. It's out there. It is what it is. Yeah, you're not putting it back. That's for sure. Biz, when you sat there, you said that they don't ask you for help, or they don't ask anyone that's out there that has experience. Let me ask you a question on this. It's kind of been bothering me. I've been around this program as tight as anybody for the last 15 years. That goes back to Stu. Sorry, it goes back to Stu, Dana, and of course here with Neil. Is it a lack of confidence by these coaches? Is it a lack that you are an NCAA soon-to-be Hall of Famer? Is there a lack of confidence that maybe if they reach out, because when I see, I feel confident, I want to reach out to Joe's and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or, you know, Harvey, what about this route here, this route tree? Or Mikey C, you know, how do you tackle those big shoulder pads? You know, whatever it is, you know, I want to reach out. I'm not afraid to learn more and more. I want to learn more. I can't absorb enough. And to me, that's a serious issue right now. And I know I'm jumping away a little bit, change the subject, but I think it's important. Is there a lack of confidence, or they just don't give it a darn?
It's a little bit of both. You know, when you're making $600,000 to coach DBs, and you know, I don't know. I wouldn't feel threatened because I just want to help the team win. You know, I'm not there for a job. I'm there to help the guys get better at their craft. You know, I still talk to a lot of the guys, and it's upsetting because I know who should be playing, and I don't see the guys playing. You know, and it hurts me to see, because if we're talking about winning, why aren't we playing our best players? You know, and like who's evaluating the talent, and who can these guys draw from as coaches that they can really say, okay, you got beat in press technique. How can you help? How can I get better? You can't just say, oh, don't get beat. You know, you got to teach these guys. And there's no one that can draw from experience.
Run faster.
Yeah, like, no, how can I get beat? What can I do with my footwork? Or my linebackers, how can I get better in my zone drops? But how can a coach if he doesn't have experience himself in that position? And, you know, we're talking about all these great recruiting classes. Do we have any prospects besides the guys that were already there? I mean, like, to me, one of the number one recruiting tools, if you're sending guys to the league, we don't even do that anymore. So, I mean, it's It's just we don't have any teachers. We don't have any guys that can really draw off of how to play a position. Because a cornerback is not something you can just go to the book and teach. You got to really know this footwork and know different leverages and know splits. And I mean, I just don't see it.
All right. So, hey, Coke, let's talk about this in development. Again, I'm staying to the subject of what's happening or what's going wrong. Why have we not seen improvement? I mean, we have seen improvement in the offensive line, but it's been 4 years. I mean, we have seen improvement in other areas, but it's been used. And we've seen a lot. We've seen regression in some parts. And I can't figure out, where are we lacking for development? What are we not doing for development?
It's it's a practice. So it's hard to really translate what they're doing or not doing. They're not holding people accountable in practice, right? When they're watching you on every single play in practice, and if you're not stepping with your right, or putting your left hand up when you're supposed to, or whatever that move is at your position, there is. I don't remember that move. So I don't that move there. I don't. That was like photo day move. But so they're not being held accountable in practice because it doesn't translate to the game. Practice for improvement, right? So you missed with your right foot. You missed with your right foot. After 10 times of missing with your right foot, as a coach, that person's never going to use their right foot, right? And hold people accountable in practice. Hold them accountable in the game. And if we can get everybody being accountable at 80% or better, you got a fighting chance because you're going to do the right techniques. But it doesn't appear that that's happening it's happening in practice. And when I say it doesn't appear, because on game day, some of the techniques, B's talked about it a lot on defense, but even up front, and honestly, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But when they break down, more often than not, didn't do not a heart or a try problem, right? It's because they could step. It's because they didn't step. It's because they did something inefficient. And we all know if you don't follow your techniques, the greatest player, there's probably one or two times where Joe's didn't use his technique, but he's 400 pounds and could throw a car across a parking lot. But do that, right? You got to use your techniques, and it's not translating on the.
Let me ask you a question then, real quick, and I want you to be brief here because I want to move on to Harvey and Mikey. But if I told you that a dude graded out at 97% at the center position you played, 97%, and consistently high 90s, would you say what scale is that? What scale? I mean, come on. How about Joe's? We've already talked about this. Fellas, listen, man, if we hit 80%, we got the gold jersey. Back then, we got the gold jersey. 97% and consistently. I mean, I think you'd be throwing a dude out of the stadium if you're playing 97% all the time. We should be getting 400 yards rushing.
If we were talking about Mike Webster or Dwight, right? Some of the greatest that ever played the game. But
they never graded out at 97.
Exactly. Not at 97.
Back down there, big guy.
If you're grading out at 97, I called huddle. You're getting graded on. I got to the offensive line and grabbed the hold of them, and I got a hand on somebody. But that's probably the baseline. 85%. That's a great game by an offensive lineman. To grade at 97, that's great if you did, but
that's not my standard. I would go by a grading as a player or as a coach. And I can tell you, I graded a lot lower than 80% before. Yeah, no doubt. And Harvey, let's go to you, brother. You're a coach now. When you're seeing this, and what can you do today to make a difference? If you're just a coach, just give me one or two things. Just do it today. What would you do? I mean, just say, you know what? Either you do this or I'm going to get. I don't care. What are you doing? You're the coach. Can't hear you, brother. Okay.
Harvey
there?
might be.
Okay, let's go. Mikey C. What are you going to do if you're out there to change? Come on, you got a lot to say here, so go ahead, man. Give it to it.
Well, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Harvey mentioned this earlier, and hopefully that's what he was going to say. Really going to say, and hopefully he gets back on here. But the change has to occur on Saturday, the way that you prepare during the week for the game. So then, in turn, when you easy and you're prepared for the chaos that Kevin has mentioned. You utilize the techniques and Joe's have mentioned, and you allow the players to play. What are you going to do differently? I mean, hopefully, is instilled. They don't play with a lot of confidence. Hopefully, he's into practice this week, so they come out and play.
I mean,
physical.
The first thing is you got to find your playmakers.
There you go.
I think Harvard's having some issues. Go ahead, keep going, Mikey.
And you have to play with a certain amount of physicality on each line. Like Harvey said, make the playmakers. Now find the playmakers and allow them to do their thing. Here's what I'm afraid of. We're going to play an entertaining style of football. Probably going to try to do everything outside of the norm that they do. You're going to see probably a trick play once every quarter. And if it works, it's going to be fantastic. But if it be just utterly just horrendous, and it's just going to lead to to a bad play. So that's what my fear is. We're just gonna make mistakes. Joe said last week we're a 10-7 game. We get the run. They score a touchdown, and the whole team was deflated after that. And I can see something in the first quarter today where they try some stupid trick play to make something happen because we play an entertaining style football and we throw an interception and then they return for a touchdown and the game's over. Hopefully that doesn't occur. Hopefully we focus on the technique and we still some confidence in the players and that's what will occur, but that's what I'm hoping.
Okay. Well, let's get to you, Bees. I don't know how close you are to getting out of here. I don't know where you're at. All I know is you're on the move, brother.
This is my last statement of the day.
All right, here we go. Give me your last statement of the day before next week. But okay, last day. What is yours? You started off, so you sum it up for yourself.
Okay. So what I want to see is just the adjustments, like we got to call some turnovers, first of all. How many do we even reach double digits yet this year? It's like we got to find a way to help our offense because right now our offense is not as efficient as it was earlier. So it has to be the other side has to pick it up for the offense. I mean, we got to win 2 phases of this game, and we got to try to make some kind of play on special teams, got to make some play on defense, and let the best man win because both of our defenses are not good. So it's all going to be about who's going to make a play. And I just hope for the best. I'm not very confident in any of the staff. And if you see some of these texts, man, I'm just like, I'm an eternal optimist, but I just don't see it, man. Like, I just don't see the energy because a lot of it is energy. A lot of it is fire and a spark in a coach that can ignite a whole team. When Coach Nealon used to hit that board, boy, did we leave that darn Did we leave Lakeview ready? He didn't have to cut. I mean, it was just a certain type of energy. And like when I watched the last press conference last week, and you're blaming your players for not playing good, and your defense not playing good. Why aren't they playing good? Like, why are you putting the blame on them? If one finger points out, three fingers are pointing right back at you. Where is the fire, coach? Where is the energy? They're going to follow your lead, and please, like, show something. Show me that you really care. And you're not, like, okay, you got $20 million, but do you care about winning? And that's what I want to see.
Oh, I'll tell you, yeah. No, Bees, that's good stuff, man. And listen, I want everyone to know that every single person who's been on this show and is on this show, including Aaron Beasley, love the Mountaineers more than anything. They spilled their blood. They built up that program. This is basically turned into what is going on. Why is this problem here? Why does it continue? Why is there not changing? Why have we not even seen outside appearance like you're trying to change? Like you're actually trying to. Now, I do believe today that you will start seeing some younger guys. I think that some quarterbacks are going to start seeing some action. That I think you can have, you can have Garrett, you can have Goose, you can have Nico. And I'm going to tell you, before we move on here, though, we have to go live to Mark Bolger's sports bar where Mountaineer Legends pregame was supposed to be for a live show this week due to the situation, the storms down there in Florida and the East Coast. That we're gonna go ahead down there. It's called T-Line at Nashville. Okay, see you, Bees. So T-Line at Nashville. We're gonna hear from Mark Parsons, who was a Mountaineer Legends trainer, and I'm talking about physical trainer. And here we go, Mark. Can you hear us? Are you there?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Okay, I'm back, and we're going to do Let's Go Mountaineers live from T-Line in Nashville. You ready?
We're ready.
Let's go Mountaineers! Mountaineers! Let's go Mountaineers! Let's go Mountaineers!
All right. Mark, I got one question for you. How many drinks have you had, and how much curling have you done?
We got our camera time.
I think you can hear. A little crazy down there, Mark Bolgers. It's T-Line. We'll see you later, buddy. I know you're struggling. God bless you, man. Listen, so that's Mark Bolgers. It's T-Line Joe's, and they do bowling down there. They do curling. It's right there in Nashville. If you go down, lots of people travel. They have the Nashville WVU alumni chapter, which you just heard there. And, of course, it's Mark Bolger. You got to be able to support it when you are in Nashville.
Hey, Mountaineer legend, baby. Mountaineer legend. I'm sorry we couldn't be there this weekend. That weather, them hurricanes are a little funny down here in Florida. That was one of the latest ever, too. So the good news is my daughter gave birth to my second grandchild. So Papa Joe's in the house. All right. Hey, let me add something, Wolf, before we go on to something else. We've been talking about, and Mikey said this about, it being entertainment. Hey, Mike, I got news for you, buddy. It is football, and it is entertainment. Okay, it is. When you cut it down to all the nuts and bolts, and entertainment for us as fans is players making plays. Make plays. That's entertainment. I don't care what the play call is. The entertainment for me is, man, what a catch. Daggone, what an open field tackle. Did you see all those guys for that big tackle for a loss? And I can tell you, as a player, the only reason why I was any good is because of the guys that were around me. Okay, the compliments. If I had a bad play, if I got beat on the inside with that 4 technique, I knew Scott Barrows was going to jack the living snot out of that guy. All right. And if I missed that 5 tech on the outside with a double team, I knew Rob Bennett was going to throw a shoulder and give me some help. All right. I knew that if we handed the football to Peak or Ron Wolfley or any of those guys in the backfield, I knew that they were going to grind meat because they refused to get tackled for a loss. I mean, look at C.T. Taylor. Man, CT, man, never got tackled for a loss, ever. What is that? Because of everybody around me. And I guess I'm back to my concern is we're all talking about improvement, and improvement's important, but eventually we reach a genetic ceiling. I mean, eventually you're not going to get any better than what you are. That's my opinion. All right. Now you got to be like a bees. You got to learn the game technically. You got to do things. You got to understand the nuts and bolts of the game and why we're doing it. So that, like Coach said, when we take that right lead step, why are we taking this lead step? What's all the componentry that goes into why we're doing that one thing? And you know what? As an NFL player, you know how many times I took a right lead step? Thousands and thousands and thousands of times. We don't spend time. We're worrying too much about analytics anymore and about percentages and about what's the best call on second and long instead of saying, hey, I got confidence in whatever I call.
Right.
You know? And that's where we got to get. I could tell you one story, and this is where you guys are talking about, Neil Brown being bold and making changes. I can remember back in my playing days, this was 1984. This was All-American. This was a year of great play, great football games for Mountaineer football. And I was jerking around in practice, and I got moved to second team. All right. I went from the starter thinking I was all that, and I got dropped to second team. I came out Tuesday, work day, Wednesday, work day, running second team. What do you think I did? You think I was satisfied with that? You think I was happy with that? Heck no, man. That's my playing time. You ain't taking that away from me. Right. And I busted my freaking tail in practice. I worked so hard. I didn't talk to anybody. I turned it up to game time every snap. And I still was the second guy in the walkthrough on Thursday. And you want to talk, I didn't sleep Thursday night because I was burning inside so bad. And at breakfast the next morning, Dave McMichael walked up and sat down next to me and he said, all right, now, are you ready? Are you ready to do this? All right. Are you done being that prima donna freaking guy thinking you're all that? Are you ready? And of course, I strapped it up, and I don't know who the hell we played and who the hell I played against, but I bulldozed somebody that day, all day long. All right. And so make a change. Don't be afraid to bench JT Daniels and put Green in. Look what he did last week. He took us down on a beautiful drive, Let him get some of that. Play some of them younger guys. Most of the time, you got no choice because our depth is shot right now because of injuries and such. But
so that is an issue. But hey, have you noticed, Joe's and Coke and even the other guys there? Thomas Remock, redshirt freshman offensive lineman out of Ohio. He's been playing the last in place of James Gamitter, who's been hurt. And by the way, James Gamitter's mom just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and she was a good woman. I know her very well. I knew her very well, so I should say. And our condolences to Gamitz and the family because that's a tough loss. So anyways, but again, Thomas Remock has been in there and playing well as a redshirt freshman. So that's good news. Yeah, who said that?
Me.
Opportunity.
Yep, Collins. I just wanted to respond to Joe's because I agree. But what Joe's is saying is the juice. That's entertaining, right? The juice of. I don't think Neil Brown views the entertainment in the same way. His definition of entertainment is a little bit different, and I think that's one of the functions of the mediocrity. Analytics. He's all about the analytics. He's all about that. Now the entertainment is okay. Now we're gonna try to throw the ball 50 times or whatever the case. Or in the lack of confidence. We played TCU tough, guys. That was a good game. We almost won. Kansas. That was a close game. It was fun. We had a good. That's his entertainment. That's his definition of entertainment. Hard are you back? Can we hear?
Hear me?
You can now, buddy. Well, give us a summation there, Harvey.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
listen, I want to tell you,
Good.
you are welcome back on the show at any time, man, because I like your coaching. I like where you come from. I like your ideas. And it's a shame that we've talked about it before, but we didn't have you on earlier. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us, and give us your summation about today.
Well, for having me, blanking me out on purpose because maybe I was failing the test and want me back and didn't want to hear from me.
No, I'm straight up, man. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you. Everybody.
Oh, he will too. He'll tell you.
Go ahead.
No, I love what Joe said because my son said that at the end of the day that Joe's learned right there. Not only did it impact him as a player, but I'd be willing to bet it impacted him in the success that he's had his life. These young men got to understand that the only thing that's going to change it right now, even in spite of what the coaches are doing, you got to look internally as a player, and either you're a playmaker or you are not. So either you're part of the solution or you are not. What Joe's was describing is he took a step back in practice. He was held accountable for it. He had to go out and earn his position back. But then what the clincher is, when you get out there on Saturday, are you a playmaker or not? You are in the business of competition. Go out and handle your job. We need more playmakers to say, this is about my brothers. So what if our coaches aren't doing this or they ain't doing that or they're not calling the right plays? Harvey Smith, if this ball is thrown to me, I see how hard my brother Joe's work from Monday to Friday. I see how hard my brother Koken works Monday through Friday. I see how hard my brother Wolf works Monday through Friday. I cannot not make the play when my number is called on Saturday afternoon. I gotta make that catch. I don't care if it's a hard catch. I don't care if it's thrown at my feet. I am not an excuse guy. I am a playmaker because my play, and let me just say this story real quick because Joe's gave one about his playing days. I'm gonna give one about mine. One of the biggest games in West Virginia history was when we beat Penn State down in Mountaineer Field. And that year, I think I might have caught 13 balls the whole year. My job was to be a blocking receiver. I was basically a tight end split out wide in the numbers. But on that particular play, that picture is all over the place in Mountaineer history. If you look small enough, the smallest dude on that field is grinding his butt to stay on that cornerback so that Pat Randolph can score that touchdown and win that one of the most prominent games in the history of West Virginia. And nobody knows I was on that field, but I did my job. I made the play. I was a playmaker in my own right. Nobody else knows that but my parents.
No, we know that, Hart. We know that. Your brothers know that. Your Mountaineer brothers do. I'm telling you that right now. That's for sure because that play is a great exceptional play. We all had those plays and those memories, man. And I think it's that stuff that makes us our hearts bleed and love and stand up and stand with young brothers. Stand with young brothers.
Yes.
But at the same time, young brothers need to be led. And they need, because they're young, just like your children, just like whoever it is that you're working with. If you're a coach working with young men, that's what you have to do. You have to lead, you have to teach, and you have to instruct. And I don't believe overall, and what I've seen, that there's been a constant construction of improvement and development of not only the players themselves, but the program in general, which of course is separately built up to make one foundation, but you got to bring them all together. And they all have to be working on the same page, and they all have to be laying the same block, and they all have to be reading the same stuff and believing in the same stuff. And that's not happening because there's something disjointed. As B said earlier, we have athletes here, we have talent here. Something's not connecting. And when you got something not connecting, you have to fix it. Summation. I didn't give you a summation yet. Go ahead and give me a summation.
Everybody's done a great job in putting it out there. And a couple times get some cleats on the way Harvey Smith was all fired up. I mean, I was like, it started oozing. Smith for coach. But you know, to the point of ability, I will tell you this: that every single play is actually the right job. I mean, hey, call that was a bad play call. Well, guess what? There's probably some wide receiver who didn't make the right cut, or the quarterback is the right play. If you show up and play technique, heart, passion, you'll make 5 yards on every play. It's designed that way. It's 11 on 11. It's not like there's 12 feel like that, but every play is the right play when you show up and do your job.
Right on. Okay, Mikey C. Summation, bro.
Same lines as Kevin. Play for your brothers today. Go out there and fight. Let's go out there. And compete and I mean, the weather's going to be horrendous. We're at home, crowd, but you know what? It's not about the people in the stands. It's about the field on our sidelines. That's who it's about. Those kids need to play. And, that was, we've talked about this and you all share some stories as a captain. That was, I would try to instill within our team. Hey, we're playing for what the play call is. We're going to execute and we're going to look out and we're going to hold each other. And that excitement. Here's the other thing too. Get 6 opportunities at home. You get 12 opportunities during the season. You tie your year for this opportunity today. Make the most of it. You're not going to get it back. Most of it. Go out there and have some fun. Play with some juice. Play with some confidence. Play for each other, and let's have some fun. Let's take it to them. Let's go.
Right on, Mikey. You know what? I kid you about your shoulder pads, man, but I'm going to tell you something, brother. I loved watching you play defensive back. I love watching you come up in the box and hit those dudes on the other side and opposition. So I appreciate you, man. I know where your heart is. And Joe's, I'm going to give you briefly here, man, to sum it up. And the game's getting ready to start here in 13 minutes. So let's rock and roll.
So I don't have time?
No.
Right. First of all, how do you want to be remembered? All right. As a player, all the other stuff, again, how do you want to be remembered as a player? Hey, the stage is set. It's a home game. We're 0-9 in the Big 12 against Oklahoma. We've never beaten them. What a great statement to shut everybody up just for even a moment. All right. We win this game and Morgantown will be out of control today. And nobody will remember anything about nothing except for that victory today. So that's all you got. Hang your hat on the next 3.5 hours. Give everything you can give for your brothers and for yourself. Hey, I played the game for myself too, by the way. I love that daggone game. And guess what? There is an I in team. It's me. I'm part of that team. So it's up to me to give everything I can. And guess what? If we all do that, 80 slugs, right? Never look at the scoreboard. Give everything you got, and when the dust settles, you might just have a piece of history. So, hey, man, and I wanted to give my condolences to WVU. We lost a heck of a family member in Dean Douglas, passed away. And Dean Douglas was the guy that was instrumental in getting me back to school after my short-lived NFL career, and I needed like 47,000 hours to graduate. I had to go in there and beg that man to let me back into school, and he got in my corner and ended up with a 32-year coaching and teaching career. So God bless him and his family, and of course, the Mountaineers for having such a great guy that did such great things for West Virginia and WVU. So thanks. I just wanted to say that.
All right, Joe. I appreciate y'all. And I'm just going to say this. I'm going to leave it at this because we got to thank our Palomar stores, our sponsor. If there's not a Palomar store near you now, there will be one soon. They just keep growing and growing and growing. They were at 200, now they're at like 203. They'll be at 220 here before the end of the year. So
great group of people.
Good things, great things for the communities, and they're doing a lot of good stuff. So I want to thank them for this, bringing you guys together. You know, it makes my soul better every week. Now, I just sat here and just, you know, Bees came on today, and he's like, it's going to get real. And that kind of took the whole show away. I had a whole show planned, and I kind of went, okay, that show is gone. It's kind of like when you come out with a game plan, and by the first quarter, you're getting your butt kicked, and you got to switch up to your second game plan. So that's kind of what happened today. Yeah.
You asked the question. You opened the bottle, dude.
Regardless, man, here's the deal, all right? The Mountaineers, they got to play for self-pride. I am tired of a standard of acceptance. I am tired of listening to national announcers, pundits say, it's tough to go play. Sometimes it's tough to go play in Morgantown. Sometimes. Right. We fought. We've done everything we can to make sure that it was a heck of a hard time to go play in Morgantown. Whether you won or lost, you had to play your best and physicality to get up. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of, like, we lost, we didn't play well. Oh, no, it's got to mean something more. It's got to be just like you staying up late at night, Joe. You got no sleep because it means something to you. So I'm tired of hearing nothing in that kind of passion. I really am. And I don't know if it's the guys today, whether they need to be taught that, whether it needs to be instilled. I know this. You know, Joe, I saw you coming way before me. I saw you with my brother Ronnie. I used to hang around with you, if you remember, going and doing those things. I understood what it was. And then, Coke, you were there for me. You were there telling me, this is how it is. This is what's expected of you. This is your standard.
Boom.
Yep. And that, my friends, we're going to go and watch our young brothers. Hopefully they rise to the standard. They go beat those Oklahoma Sooners. And we start to get on track where we take pride and we have our self-respect and we play for each other, for Mountaineer Nation, for everything that we're about, because that's what Mountaineer Nation has always been about. And I refuse to sit by and watch it change without at least saying, hey, what's going on? Yo, no, that's not right. And I think that's where you guys are too. And we'll go ahead. We'll get again together next week, hopefully. And we'll see what these guys do today because I want them to win.
Let's go, Mountaineers.
Me too. Let's go, Mountaineers.
All right, brothers. Love y'all, man. Love y'all. See you soon.
All right, fellas. Great seeing you guys.
Stay safe.
You as well.
Take care. Good seeing you.
Hi, my name's James Gamitter, and I'm from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And when I'm back home in the Pittsburgh area, you can find me at my local Palomar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Palomar. There are literally hundreds of Palomar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Palomar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Palomar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Palomar store near you now, there will be soon.
Where do the true gold and blue faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Palomar store on the Evansdale campus.